What should you be doing based on the following premise? These two things are certain. Your current tax bracket is likely the lowest bracket you will ever be in, and money will never be worth more than it is today. Get ready. I'm going to explain what I mean by that and what you should be doing based upon that premise. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for nearly 5 decades. And during that time period, I've helped thousands of people prepare for a comfortable retirement so they will not outlive their money. And I've discovered that most Americans are in danger of outliving their money due to 3 big dangers: taxes, inflation, and market volatility. And so oftentimes I will state a premise and I'll say, you know what, these two things are certain in my opinion. Your current tax bracket is likely the lowest bracket you will ever be in. The dollar, the purchasing power of the dollar it will never be worth more than it is today because it will continue to go down due to inflation that devalues the dollar. Now, this is the first time in nearly 40 years that we have seen the government spend money and print money like crazy. So if you're not aware of this, in 2019, going into 2020, COVID-19 became the threat. And so the government, basically in the year 2020, spent at least double what they brought in revenue. And they extended unemployment benefits. They did all kinds of things. And so I sometimes would ask people, golly, now, if you made $100,000 in a year, but you spent $200,000, what would you have to do? Well, you've got to somehow come up with that, shortfall. You got to pay the money back. Well, what does the government do when they spend twice as much as they bring in? The government, if you're not aware, the IRS collects about $4 trillion in taxes. They did in 2020. They collected about $4 trillion. They refund about $800 billion. So they netted about $3.2 trillion, but they spent over double that. Okay. Well, they didn't learn. So what happened the next year after Biden got in? He goes, oh, this is a great excuse to pass some legislation. And so they passed legislation where they began spending basically about 3.5 times what they bring in. So in order to cover that, they printed money during COVID-19 faster than they ever had in the history of the American dollar. I don't know if you were aware of that. And so this is what causes inflation. You print money, you put a ton of money out there, and it's like, why are diamonds worth so much? Because of scarcity. When you start flooding the market with diamonds, then the value of diamonds would go down. That's why diamonds are worth a lot and dirt is not. Yeah, you can buy, truckloads of dirt for dollars, okay? And so people don't understand when you have plenty of money because you've been printing money 5, 6, 7 times the amount of money that was in supply before, the value of the dollar goes down. And so this is why we saw inflation. Now, I'm constantly amazed how many politicians do not understand that, economics 101. But the fact of the matter is we are going to experience inflation. It's here to stay. And so many times people don't understand the negative impact of inflation and how to combat it. So it's actually really simple. You can link your returns on your money to the things that inflate. Meaning, if your money is tied to or linked to the things that are going up in price, then I don't like inflation any more than you probably do, but it doesn't hurt me because my money is growing as fast as the things that are going up in price because my money is linked to that. Does that make some sense? Okay. So what you do is you use a strategy called indexing. Now, indexing is not an index mutual fund because if you have your money in the market in an index fund, the third big danger is market volatility when we have taxes going up and inflation. So the markets are volatile. And when the markets lose, then you can lose 30 or 40% with your money in the market like 2008. And so that's the third big danger that caused most retirees to outlive their money. So you don't want to have your money at risk in the market. You want to have your money linked to the market so that when the market goes up, you get to benefit. But when the market crashes, you don't lose. And people say, well, that sounds too good to be true. How can you do that? Well, I explained that in this book called The Laser Fund, which is my favorite vehicle that uses this strategy called indexing. And stay with me to the end of this episode because I'm going to gift you a free copy of this book. You don't have to pay $20 for it. So in a nutshell, this is how indexing works. You accumulate money in a max-funded indexed insurance contract where the objective is living benefits. You're taking the least amount of insurance that the IRS will let you get away with, and you're putting in the most money the IRS allows, and it turns into this tax-free cash cow because money inside of an insurance contract accumulates tax-free, and you can take out income totally tax-free. And so that is provided under sections 72E and 7702 of the Internal Revenue Code. I teach this to CPAs and tax attorneys and financial advisors. So this is where I have earned average rates of return since 1997 when indexed insurance contracts, indexed IUL, indexed universal life was introduced in 1997. I have averaged 11.17%. About one of those percentage points goes towards the cost of the insurance that makes it tax-free. So I'm netting about 10%, 10.07 to be exact. So if I'm earning 10%, my money's going to double about every 7.2 years. So if I started out with $500,000, in 7.2 years, it doubles to $1 million. So let's take that snapshot in time. I have $1 million. Now, the way indexing works, if I'm going to retire and I have $1 million nest egg and I want to average 10%, theoretically, I could pull out $100,000 a year without depleting my $1 million nest egg. Yeah, we've had many, many people actually experience that. That $100,000 is tax-free because money out of the insurance policy taken out the smart way is tax-free. But let's get back to indexing. The $1 million in the insurance company is earning a general account portfolio rate. That is what the insurance company is making on billions of dollars that they have invested in AAA and AA bonds, mortgages on shopping malls and skyscrapers and what have you. And so that might be 4%. So anytime you want, you can just settle for 4% tax-free on your million. That would be $40,000. So at the end of the year, your $1 million would now be worth $1,040,000. That's okay. If you feel like the economy is going to go down, you can just play it safe in a bear market and earn 4% tax-free. But if you feel bullish about America and you feel like the market's going to grow that year, you can link your return to a market index like the S&P 500. So what you're telling the insurance company to do is keep your $1 million safe in the insurance company earning 4. Well, how can the insurance company afford to pay you what the S&P does? Because you're giving up the interest on your million, that 4%, that's $40,000. You're saying you can take the $40,000, the interest you're earning on my million, and you can fund an options budget. And the insurance company is very smart. They buy options by the hour. They're the number one purchaser of options in the world. And so that gives the insurance company the wherewithal that if the S&P goes up 8%, they'll pay you $80,000 on your million. If it goes up 12%, they'll pay you $120,000. If it goes up 16%, they may pay you $160,000, but they're going to have to cap you because they only have the interest on your million to put out there. But see, you're protected if the market crashes. If the market goes down, the options expire worthless, but you still have your million. You don't lose. But see, 7 out of 10 years, the market goes up. So you usually come out substantially ahead by using indexing. Now, they cap you. Sometimes you can choose a 1-year point-to-point with no cap, and they'll subtract 5% off of the rate of return. And this is why many of our clients in March of 2020, during COVID-19 to March of 2021, when the market dropped 30% in March of 2020, many of our clients were advised by us to link to a 1-year point-to-point with no cap. The market went up from the end of March of 2020, 66.33%. Minus 5%, they netted 61.33%. We had a client that had $852,000 in their laser fund, and a year later, that was worth $1,387,000. They made over $535,000 tax-free in one single year. They realized a 61.33% gain that year. The neat point is, if the next year the market would have crashed 40%, they would not have lost one dime of the $500,000 they made the year before, because every year your gains are locked in. That's indexing. It's a strategy. It's not a commodity like an index fund. Are you getting it? So my message to you is you want to be able to hedge against the negative impact of taxes by converting to tax-free. Laser funds are tax-free. You want to have inflation work for you instead of against you. In the year 2022, the actual real rate of inflation was over 15%. Okay, most of our clients were able to earn a rate of return of 25% or 61%, because you have to earn a rate of return greater than the inflation rate, or you're going to go backwards financially. You can't be rowing upstream at the rate of 5 miles an hour when the current of inflation is coming down at 10 or 15. You're going backwards. You have to earn 15 or higher. You do that by linking your returns to the things that inflate. The third thing is you want to get rid of the risk, the danger of market volatility by getting your money out of the market and participating when the market goes up and not lose one dime due to that market crash when it happens. That's called indexing, okay? So if you want to learn more about how to protect yourself, I want to gift you a copy of this book where you can read and learn. But when you claim your free copy, there's options there to listen and learn or watch and learn. So you simply go to LaserFund, laserfund.com, or click on the link below, and you contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I require a little bit of skin in the game, and I'll cover the rest of the shipping cost. I'll pay for the book. I'll fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail. And then I want you to indulge yourself and learn. This is actually 2 books in one, because this side is 200 pages with all the charts and graphs and explanations if you're a left brain learner. If you're a right brain learner, you flip it over, and this is about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories of how the laser fund can be used as the dream solution, not just for retirement, but working capital for business, college funding for your kids and grandkids, real estate management, emergency funds, on and on. It is my favorite financial vehicle that allows me to accumulate my money tax-free. I can access it tax-free, and when I die, it blossoms. It increases in value and transfers tax-free. Learn how and why by claiming your book now.